A sketchbook that I think has the most research in it is my design sketchbook. Mainly because they just involved a lot of research on programs like Photoshop and Illustrator and all that kind of stuff. So for my first task, we had to use Photoshop to create a shadow portrait. And it was a lot of kind of really at first getting to know Photoshop, which I honestly knew enough before I started, because I know I've always been using digital art, so they're all kind of the same once you get to know them. We had to learn about typography as well, which I will admit I was not comfortable with. I'd kind of associate a lot with graphic design. I thought I wouldn't like it, but after doing this task where we had to design a poster for our school exhibition, I really did like it. Just with the whole placement of texts and all that kind of stuff. I liked how this one turned out. It was a kind of space retro theme. I liked the colours. And it's a lot of just showing how my ideas start and then finish. And for our next task, we had to create a character, which I really liked. At first, I was kind of stuck. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So we just started off with figure drawing, which just lasted from either 30 seconds or to a few minutes. And we drew stools in different positions to kind of just break down the barrier between you and the 3D object so that you knew what it was. Drew hands as well, which is nearly impossible, but also breaking them down into shapes along with the skeleton and the skull, because once you break it down into shapes it's a lot easier. So back to the brainstorm for my character, I was still kind of stuck. So I was like, what do I like to draw? And I was like, I like to draw bears. So I kind of just put a twist on a natural bear, making his name is Shroom. He's made out of grass, and I just thought if I enjoyed drawing it, then that would come across. And then for our next task, we had to do a storyboard. So I realised that we had to do a lot of more figure drawing. This was my teacher who was walking around, and this turned out to be way harder than I thought it would be, and it needs a lot of practice. But for the storyboard, I involved Shroom again. He appears a lot in this portfolio, but I just kind of I feel like the point of a storyboard is to reveal kind of something about either a person or a character or something, and I felt like my first draft didn't do that, and so I changed my second draft into revealing something about Shroom's character, like he has powers. And then for our last task, we had to do a little animation, and this is the one I definitely enjoyed the most. The work I put into it did not feel like work at all. I had an old clip that I did months ago that I wanted to reuse, so I incorporated it into this. And this is all figure practices of what I put into my animation that you will see in my sketchbook, in my portfolio.